pleasure to welcome you to the grand opening of El Centro.
I can't clap.
I am Dr. Marta Garcia, proud president for Mount SAC, and it is such a pleasure to be with you this afternoon as we celebrate the opening of El Centro. It is also a pleasure to see our students joining us.
Hey.
Yay, students.
And all of you, our amazing team members at Mount SAC, our Board of Trustees that I'll introduce, and our distinguished guests from the community. I have the honor of introducing the Board of Trustees who have joined us this afternoon. Trustee Jay Chen. Trustee Gary Chow. Student Trustee Michelle Obasi. And joining us later is Dr. Manuel Vaca. I also have the pleasure of introducing our Citizens Oversight Committee members. If you are present, please join us. With us is Drexel Smith, the chair. DJ Bakil. Silas Abrego. Frederick Sykes. Any other Citizens Oversight Committee members, please stand. Thank you for joining us. Representing elected officials or elected officials present, it is such an honor that you have joined us in this celebration. Christiane Salamat from Congressman Gil Cisneros' office. Camille Hemsworth from Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez's office. Alexa Sanchez and Brian Lopez from Assemblymember Blanca Rubio's office. Stephen Coronel from Assemblymember Lisa Calderon's office. Councilmember Kaylee May Law from Walnut City Council. Councilmember Lorraine Canales from Pomona City Council. Councilmember Linda Friedman from Walnut City Council. President and CEO Monica Farias from the Greater West Covina Business Association. And Executive Director J.R. Esquivel from the Greater West Covina Business Association. Linnea Shields from the Southern California Gas Company and also a foundation board member. Do we have any other foundation board members that are present? If you are here, please stand so we could acknowledge you. And from Senator Bob Archuleta's office, Kyle Miller. Thank you for joining us. Muchísimas gracias. We gather to celebrate the opening of El Centro, the Center for Latinidad, on the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month and on the day before Mexican Independence Day. El Centro and the Affinity Centers are hubs for success for our students. Their dreams are the reason why we are here, and our collective team is committed to doing everything that we can possibly, united, to help you students. You are our inspiration. The affinity centers provide students with advising, tutoring, and support in a welcoming environment that creates a sense of belonging. When students feel they belong, there is a greater probability for success and completion of their goals. Our affinity centers are open to all students. They teach, celebrate, and focus on rich cultural and heritage learning and practices that make our campus community beautiful and affirming for all. I express deep gratitude to those who made El Centro possible. This is a collective effort. To our community who funded Measure GO and V, to the architects and contractors, Architectural for Education A4E and Herrick Construction, to the faculty, staff, and students who are the heart and soul of the campus. Thank you all. Once again, I'm extremely honored and feel ecstasy as we celebrate the grand opening of El Centro. Now, to share more about this uniquely designed facility, please join me in welcoming Maritza Valenzuela, a special project manager in facilities, planning, and management. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for being here, and it's a pleasure. It's an honor that I've worked on this project. My name is Maritza Valenzuela, and I work at the facilities department, and I was the project manager alongside with some people that retired, Carol Minning and Gary Nellison. I just want to give you a brief history of the building. It's a modular. It's composed of 8 buildings. And when they brought it in with the crane and they put it together. It measures 96 feet by 40 with total square foot of 3,840. It has an open resource center, 3 offices, 2 study rooms, 2 restrooms, a meeting room, a multi-purpose room, and a break room. But a building is just a building with lights, with ceiling, with wallpaper, carpet. But I just want to mention that just like a house, it's just a house. It doesn't become a home until you bring it in. And I just want to thank Giovanni when he actually came, and he came later on in the process when we were designing the building, but he had a vision for El Centro. He just didn't want it to be a building. He wanted to be a home for the students that come and study in this place. He made sure that when you walk in, the Open Resource Center is La Sala. As you walk in, that's when, as a family, you walk into your living room where you sit and relax. Your dining room, that's where families gather, they speak, they talk, they have, they build relationships there, and that's exactly what he wanted. La ofrenda, when you look, every piece of furniture was selected by the students. There's the ofrenda there, the comedor, the sitting. You see the tile around the building, the color outside of the building, even the landscape in front of the building. Everything had a purpose, because the purpose is our students here on Mount SAC. And it's not just the building, it's a home for Mount SAC students and everybody here. And it was an honor and a pleasure to work with the students and the team here. I also want to thank the board members for approving this. It took a while. This is 16E is next door, and the vision for 16E and 16F started about 10 years ago. In 2015, we designed and built Equity Center, and now we're done with El Centro. It took a while, but we're here. So I want to thank the Board of Trustees, the Citizens Oversight Committee, the executive team, and everybody that was part of this design. Architectural, A4E Architectural for Education, RLA, who is our landscape architect, and Herrick Construction. Like I said, it was an honor and a pleasure to be here and to be part of this project. Thank you so much, Dr. Melvin.
Welcome, bienvenidos. My name is Dr. Melba Castro. I'm the Vice President of Student Services, and what an honor it is to serve our students, but also to have beautiful, welcoming spaces that affirm them and their identities and who they are going to be in the future. Today we celebrate not just the opening of a space, but the creation of a home, a place where identity flourishes, dreams take root, communities thrive. Welcome to El Centro, the Center for Latinidad at Mount SAC. As a proud Hispanic serving institution, Mount San Antonio College has always been committed to ensuring that every student sees themselves reflected in the campus community. El Centro provides and represents that commitment manifested in tangible space where our values of inclusion, cultural celebration, and academic success come together. El Centro is more than just a building, it is a sanctuary for community, for belonging. It is a place where dreams are nurtured, where futures are built. And within these walls, we will foster collaborative programming that extends beyond our campus and embraces partnerships throughout the broader community. We are here to honor the rich tapestry of experiences that make up Latinidad, to celebrate not just our similarities, but also the beautiful cultural diversity and roots within our collective identity. Whether a student is seeking a space to study, looking to connect with peers, or hoping to explore their cultural heritage, El Centro welcomes you. This is a place where academic support is provided, networking, and most importantly, bringing your whole authentic self to campus. For our students, your language, your traditions, your family journey, your dreams for the future, all belong here. We have a saying in Spanish, mi casa es su casa, my home is your home. Today, those words take a profound meaning as we open El Centro, not just a center, but a center where it is a home away from home. Today marks the beginning of countless stories that will unfold within these walls. Stories of students finding their voice, building lifelong connections, achieving academic success, and affirming who they are. El Centro is a living proof of transformative power, the strength found in cultural pride, and the unlimited potential that emerges when students feel truly seen, truly supported, and truly celebrated. Welcome to El Centro, mi casa es su casa, and welcome to your new home. Now it is my honor to welcome a Mount SAC alumna whose advocacy for student-centered supports and the creation of El Centro came to light. She has joined Mount SAC as a professional in student services and serves as the Student Services Program Specialist. Please help me in welcoming Kay Reynosa Saldana.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. My name is Kay Reynosa Saldana, and I have the honor of serving as El Centro's first ever program specialist. I am also a Mount SAC alumni and former co-chair of MedChat at Mount SAC. I started my educational journey in the summer of 2016 as a first-generation college student. I was learning to navigate college alongside my mom, and one day she told me, like, you can't just be sitting here in the summer and not doing anything. So I'll drive you to the campus and go ask questions on how to enroll in classes, because I think you should start your education now. And at the time, I didn't see the benefit or how much that moment of her pushing me was going to help me. And so that moment I felt opened so many doors for me. I joined the summer bridge program and I learned about Mecha from my peer advisor Alejandro Juarez. So before we had El Centro, we had Mecha. Mecha promotes education, cultura, and historia, and seeks to open the doors of higher education for the Latina community. So Mecha was so influential in my educational journey at Mount SAC. I learned more about my Latinidad, I broke out of my shell, and I had the opportunity to research and present workshops about my own Latina identity, being Salvadorian. I became more connected to my campus and was even able to get an on-campus job as an in-reach student ambassador, so I think I've always been in student services. For decades, Mount SAC Latina students were providing cultural education to their Latina peers, and since the 1970s, Latina students on this campus advocated and envisioned a Latina resource center. They envisioned a space where students and people could find people who understood their backgrounds and journey, and where they could build community and learn more about their Latina identities. And as I've been reflecting on their vision, the quote that comes to mind is, "Plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit." This is what previous generations of Latina students on this campus did. They planted the seeds knowing that they would not see the benefit of a student Latina resource center, but understood the importance of that for future generations of students. They knew that students down the line would benefit from having a space that supported and highlighted their identities and was there throughout their educational journey. So now I've come full circle in my career, serving as the first specialist for El Centro. And I feel like I am one of the caretakers of that seed planted by activists in the 70s and activists of my time as a student. So it's an honor to be here and see it come to fruition, to see students come into our center every day and know that their Latina identities are not only acknowledged, but also celebrated. To be part of an amazing team that goes above and beyond every day to make sure that we're creating a center that is welcoming and affirming for our Latina students on campus. It's amazing to see that vision that students had in the 70s and in my time as a student grow beyond not only a space for students, but a space for staff, faculty, and for our community members. I feel so happy to know that students are starting and ending their educational journey with El Centro being just a standard for them. And so let us all continue to plant seeds for our peers, our students, and for our community. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Manuel Baca, member of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Kay. And thank you, Dr. Garcia, and everyone for being here this afternoon. Bienvenidos. Today is a proud day for Mount San Antonio College and for student equity. By opening El Centro, we are reaffirming our promise to remove barriers, close equity gaps, and celebrate the diversity of our students and their families. This is more than a building. It is a home on campus where students find comunidad, belonging, and the tools to thrive. El Centro brings together culturally responsive programming and a welcoming study space, all in one hub. It is designed for the first generation students, returning adults, dreamers, and every student who seeks a place that says, you belong here. Your success matters. For years, many of our equity programs made do in modulars and crowded offices. Today we turn a page. El Centro provides a modern, purpose-built space where students can meet, collaborate, study, and lead. Investing in El Centro is investing in our students, our future, our workforce, our future civic leaders. It reflects Mount SAC's role as a proud Hispanic serving institution and our belief that when our students rise, our entire community rises with them. I just want to add a little bit. We have Nick Abrego, who is working for Gio. Where are you, Nick? There you are. And I just want to comment, his uncle, Chris Abrego, is the president of the Academy for Motion Pictures. And he's quoted yesterday as saying that in these divisive times, storytelling is very important. And that is what El Centro is about, being able to tell a story and support our students. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you to everyone who made this possible. The voters who supported our bond measures, your trust built this space. The Citizens Oversight Committee for diligent stewardship, they've been doing a wonderful job. Our facilities design and construction partners who turned a vision into vibrant reality. Our student services team, the El Centro Planning Group, faculty, staff champions, and most importantly, our students, whose voices shape this center. You have made this moment possible. So please, a round of applause for Gio and everybody involved in El Centro. Thank you. Now, to share more about this uniquely designed facility, please join me in welcoming Maritza Valenzuela, a special project manager in facilities planning and management.
I'm not as wonderful as Maritza, but let me see if I can do the job. Maritza will never try to be you, okay? No worries. Bienvenidos and welcome. My name is Giovanni Rodriguez and I serve as the inaugural director for El Centro, the Center for Latinidad. I have served in this role since November 2022. But I have worked at Mount SAC since August of 2015, almost 10 years, past 10 years already. Thank you, Kay, my partner in passion. I first met Kay when they were a student advocate, pushing for a space like El Centro. And now I get to call them my colleague. Together, we are the inaugural 2 full-time staff members of El Centro. And I also want to thank the rest of the El Centro team. El viento took my speech away. So, Lisette Chavez and Cristal Chavira, our professional short-term hourlies. Our student ambassadors, Camila Juarez, Diana Hernandez, and Nick Abrego. I also want to thank Doctora Lisa Rodriguez and Diana Felix, who are the leads of the Title V grants, the Hispanic Serving Institution Equipo, and made sure to elevate El Centro, redirecting some of their Title V funds to support the operations and growth of our space. When I first started in 2015, I joined Student Life, and my first role was to advise the Interclub Council alongside Barbara Carillo. The co-chairs were Fabian Pavon and Alejandro Juarez. If you know them, there's nothing I can say that would explain the fierceness of these two. Together, they were a force of nature and pushed things like ethnic studies to be a newly developed social justice associate's degree and pushed for an El Centro space on campus. Leading up to the Associated Students Resolution in 2018 that was brought forward to the Board of Trustees for consideration. Thank you, Board of Trustee members and executive leaders of Mount SAC for making this a reality. I want to thank some previous El Centro staff who are just as much as part of El Centro's legacy. Pedro Gonzalez, who spent countless hours building our digital archive. Paola Benitez and Guadalupe Acosta, who were part of my team when I first started. They were such chingonas that the rest of my administrator peers took them away for full-time positions. Van a ver. I can't forget about Vanilla Bonilla, Eric Chavez, and Adriana Zambrano. They were my first student ambassadors who have transferred out and now at their respective universities. I would also like to thank Fabian Pavon, our first part-time professional staff member who worked tirelessly from 2020 to 2022 to institutionalize and grow El Centro. He later left to pursue his PhD at UC Santa Barbara and now serves as the coordinator for El Centro at his campus. We hope to welcome you back here as a professor in ethnic studies. I would be remiss to not thank Doctora Annabelle Perez, the counselor coordinator of the Bridge program, who was asked by Dr. Audrey Yamagata-Noji, not asked, voluntold, right? Our former vice president of student services, to house El Centro in the Bridge suite. Thank you, Jolene Chong, Dr. Alicet Trejo, Lynn Matheson, Jasmine Mendoza, Cynthia Orozco, Andrea Torres, Diana Casas, Lina Soto, and Tanya Robles. You all helped breathe life in El Centro, provided guidance, support, and passion. Thank you. And although I miss being part of Bridge and making café de olla for you all every morning, it was time for El Centro to fly. We are indebted to your service and care. I stand here today because of all of these mentioned trailblazers. They all saw what could potentially be and made sure to keep this dream alive. Although I may be the lead caretaker of this space today, El Centro belongs to all of us, and we all share the responsibility of nourishing it. As you have heard from other speakers today, we didn't get here on our own. It's taken decades of community work led by student groups like Mecha and student governments across the country. I stand here today because of their commitment like people like Sylvia Mendez, who I had the chance of meeting during Doctora Garcia's inaugurational ceremony. Sylvia Mendez's parents fought hard to create access for la gente Latina across California for quality education, desegregating schools in 1947 with the monumental case Mendez versus Westminster, which later would be used to create precedents for the 1954 Supreme Court landmark ruling of Brown versus Board of Education. This ruling made it illegal for segregation in schools across the United States of America. Another trailblazer, Dolores Huerta, who fought for farm workers along Lariat Leon and Cesar Chavez and with the United Farm Workers Union in 1965. They fought for workers' rights in the fields of California and would later join the civil rights movement. Another trailblazer, Sylvia Rivera, whom alongside Marsha P. Johnson, these two trans women stood up against criminalization of being LGBTQ at Stonewall in 1969. This movement paved the way to allow people to love freely. We celebrate this act with pride every June. As a queer Latino man in California, decades after their efforts, I acknowledge they created pathways for me to stand here today. La lucha sigue. Today, all of Latinidad, along with our minorities, are being targeted by policies that contradict the work these activists fought for. Rights all of us in attendance here today have benefited from. On February 14, 2025, the U.S. Department of Education sent the Dear Colleague letter, informing colleges and universities across the nation they had 14 days to dismantle all cultural centers, cultural celebrations, and cultural graduations, or they would risk losing federal funding. In 48 hours, over 200 campuses voluntarily abided. Today, that number is much higher, but thanks to our fierce chancellor of the community colleges, Dr. Sonia Christian, and our board, we will continue diversity, equity, and inclusion work at community colleges across California and here at Mount SAC. In June, droves of Border Patrol agents were sent to Los Angeles and surrounding communities of Southern California, violating our constitutional rights to engage in a mass deportation campaign rooted in discrimination and fear tactics. Just last week, on September 10th, 2025, the U.S. Department of Education sent another letter announcing defunding of congressional-approved grant funds to colleges and universities who are minority-serving institutions. A Hispanic-serving institution is a designation bestowed on a campus which enrolls 25% or more of its population who identify as Hispanic or Latino. At Mount SAC, the population stands at 63%. We are going to lose over $350 million to Hispanic serving institution grants. There are over 600 campuses across the United States that identify as an HSI and 415 that are emerging and almost there. For decades, these grants helped start programs like El Centro or other programs which helped close the achievement gap for Latinas in higher education. I am both saddened and disheartened by what is happening, but at Mount SAC, we continue the lucha. Today is bittersweet. I grieve the loss of programs like El Centro's being shut down across the country, and at the same time feeling honored and privileged to be here at Mount SAC. We're opening up a center when so many are closing their doors. And so I charge this to everyone in attendance. The center is not mine, it is ours. This center was a dream to Mount SAC students who marched at the Chicano Moratorium, joining the rest of the comunidad in East LA on August 29, 1970. 50 years later, we were able to institutionalize El Centro at Mount SAC. And 55 years later, we've been granted this beautiful space behind us. This space serves as a place to learn our roots, to gain a sense of identity, to create community, to grow courage, and together achieve our dreams. Thank you, Doctora Marta Garcia, Doctora Melba Castro, Dr. Koju Segi, and Dr. Eric Lara for being jefes chingones and supporting El Centro. A quick shout out to our caterers from Girasol in Monrovia, Veronica Wu, who designed our logo, Ruby and Esmeralda
Never
for
commit
the balloon
suicide,
art.
man. No matter how bad that shit gets, bro. Never commit suicide, man. That's my message, bro. No matter how bad your life gets, never commit suicide. 'Cause that shit can get so bad. You just gotta never do it, man. Straight up. And that's my message.
Thank
That's
you.
my message. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I also want to thank my partner, Richard Avila, for his help and support during this process. This concludes our ribbon cutting ceremony, but I welcome you all to join the festivities after we take some pictures for the ribbon cutting. After the pictures, we're going to welcome the Mount SAC Marching Band to do a few numbers. And then we will conduct our blessing ceremony with Doctora Primavera Reza Nakonechny, Cristal Chavira, and our Danza Azteca Toyacan, led by Sergio and Alejandro Juarez. You know, the person that I first mentioned that I met in 2015, he's here. After that, we will open the doors, comida, and activities for the community. Muchas gracias.
That was so random.
To come up first, take photographs. We're going to be coming right behind this line over here. And then just so you all know, afterwards we're going to invite the board members and elected officials who are here. Please come by, we're going to take some photos for you. And then after that, we're going to take pictures of the board of central members, as well as the board and facilities members, and any additional photographs that are needed after that, okay? So 1 second, thank you.
I don't know, I need to be in the shade.
Big scissor.
Sorry, my back was burning up.
Me too, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. I can't miss the moment. Better get a better view. Alright, I'm tall.
Step over 6 inches that way, please. Thank you so much.
No one's blocking me live, please.
We're going to start with Robert's camera over here, please. You're gonna look over here, Robert. Okay, now you're going to look in the middle over here. Take some photos. All right, now we're going here. We're gonna take a few photos over here. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna do ceremonial cut now. Yes, ready.
Count it out.
1, 2, 3.
Yay! Alright, that's enough.